So we're here in Talca Park after one of the most dramatic football matches I've ever seen with the Drogheda manager Tim Clancy. His team are into the second round of the playoffs. They're going to play Finn Harps over the next 2 Fridays. They've just won here in a penalty shootout after, well, Shells were reduced to 9 men. They played an hour of the normal match and half an hour of extra time with 9 men. They were 2-0 down, having been 1-0 up from the first leg. Adam Evans scores to make it 2-1. Extra time goes to penalties, and your team have won. You were suspended the last match of your ban. So what was it like watching this match from up here?
Yeah, it was. Listen, it was very entertaining. Shells have got to feel good for themselves. As you said, they went down to 10 men. Well, down to 10 men after 10 minutes, and then I think after about half an hour, 35 minutes, we went down to 9 men. So we were already level at that stage. Sean Brennan scored a great goal, and then when Chrissy Lyons put us ahead, I thought, listen, just manage the game and keep the ball and keep working it, because they put in a lot of work, Shells, and we just sort of played into their hands. But what an effort from Shells. And listen, Carl Moore's come in from Bows, and he's a Premier Division footballer. I heard you say that during the week when you were speaking to him. He's produced a great ball in, and Adam Evans has scored a great goal, and to be honest, deservedly so. They went to extra time, and after the extra time going to penalties, they probably feel a bit gutted, because they certainly deserve more than what they got tonight. Yeah,
I was only thinking when they went down to 9 men, like how often you've ever tried to, work on a training session 11 against 9 or 11 against 10, and they just were able to keep 8 players plus the keeper behind the ball, and you always found it quite hard to actually make too many chances.
Yeah, but listen, that's where you got to keep the width on the pitch, because they're obviously naturally going to be narrow to protect the centre of the area where the goal is. So we have to be more patient. Just keep moving the ball, and shift them around, move them. We played too straight and too narrow all the time, and Alan Byrne and Dell at the back, 2 of them were it's food and drink for them. The balls that were going into the box, and they were attacking it and defending very well. A bit frustrated with how we were playing, and we sort of played right into their hands. But listen, we got over the line eventually, and ironically we won in penalties, having not got one on Friday night in the home leg. So it's sort of a bittersweet, because we could have played a lot better over these 2 legs, and I'm sure Owen's feeling good, because that was a brilliant performance from them.
Had you lost, you probably would have never forgiven yourselves, but you probably don't care in the end how you've won. What was your kind of views of the penalties? Did you guys practice them during the week, and you were probably hopeful that your keeper Paul Skinner would be able to save one for you, and that's what he did, and that's what was needed?
Yeah, we
saved 2 in the end.
Yeah, we were practicing them, and the worrying thing was we missed 7 out of about 20, but the good thing was Skin saved about 5 of them. So I thought I might have finished 0-0 in training there, or in the penalties, but no, listen, we got over the line in the end, Jamie, and as you said yourself, it's just focusing now on trying to get them as much recovery as possible over the next few days. We've got a massive game now against Finn Harps on Friday, and just spoke to Jake Hyland there via text message, and he's in hospital getting an x-ray, and he says it's still very sore, but he's just hoping there's nothing broken there. But listen, it looks like Jake will probably miss the rest of the season now, and he's been pivotal to everything we do in the team. His energy in the middle of the pitch, and his work rate and his leadership within his game, not necessarily his organisation and his vocal leadership, but the way he plays the game and leads from his energy and his work rate around the park, and that'll be a sore one for us, missing Jake. But listen, we've got other players there to come in, and William Hondemark is a young kid, 17 years of age, come in again, and thought he was excellent. Funnily enough, I thought when they brought on young Farrell as well, he's only 17, he had a bit of magic that created a chance, and to be honest, Adam Evans should have scored the header. Again, listen, we got away with that one, so we'll go again, and we'll prepare for Friday now.
Yeah, really bad tackle by James English on Jake Hyland. Had to be stretchered off, and as Tim said, has gone to hospital, so our best wishes for him. For you, Tim, it was the last of a 4-game ban. How have things worked with, obviously you've had your assistant Kevin Doherty in charge. Ironically, he managed here for a couple of years, and he's very well able to do it, but it's been interesting for you having to be in a stand with Dave Robertson and Kev as the manager on big nights like this.
Yeah, listen, Kev's got the experience as a manager and an assistant, so there's no issue there. It's just frustrating getting a 4-game ban. I think, listen, it's served now, so I'm not going to really talk about it. It's my first offence, so I'll not say anything else, to be honest. There's plenty of things I could say about it, but I've learnt my lesson, because I possibly did hurt the team in regards to my actions after the game. I'm certainly wrong in what I did, so I learned from it and I'll go on. It's my first season as a manager, so it's certainly one part of it that I have to learn, is to maybe vent my frustrations a bit more, or in a bit different way. And yeah, Kev stepped in perfectly though, and he's got the all experience, and it's good for him coming back here, because he had a long career here as a player and obviously as a coach and as a manager, so it's certainly one that he'll remember anyway.
Yeah, you'll have to give him a shoulder now on Friday and tell him you're back in the technical area, but you will be back in, and it's a home match against Finn Harps this Friday in United Park at 7:45. The away leg is the following Friday, so it's not a Friday, Monday again, so you'll have time to recover and get ready. And I know we're only speaking a few minutes after this match, but you know, you've got a couple of days recovery time and extra time in the legs for lots of the lads as well, looking ahead to Friday at home again.
Yeah, listen, we know it's going to be difficult. We've played Finn Harps 3 times this year. We've beaten them once and they've beaten us twice, but in all the games there's only been the odd goal in it, so listen, we know it's going to be a very, very tough game for us, and I know Ollie does all his homework and he's at nearly every game in the country. He goes to that many games, you think he's at 2 at the same time. Half the time Ollie's brilliant in regards to the work rate he puts in away from his club, like for preparation for other games. So listen, we know it's going to be tough, and listen, it's probably too early to look and assess to see who's injured and whatnot, but we'll sit down over the next day or two and get them as much recovery as possible. And we've got Jack Brogan there who's doing the strength and conditioning this season for us, and we've had very, very few muscle injuries, so he's doing a great job, and he'll have a big role to play now in the next few days leading up to Friday. Yeah,
Hearts are probably quite similar to Shells in terms of style. They like to get the ball forward as quick as they can, but in terms of form, if Harps had picked up maybe 3 or 4 more wins in the first part of the season, like their form in the second part of the season was as good as UCD's who won the league, they would have had a great chance of actually get promoted automatically. They were relegated last year with the 3 teams going down, and they're a very, very good squad, so it's a tough one, but you're happy to be there. But they're a good team, and particularly with the second leg being away as well, you want to make sure that with the home leg you're going up there with something to play for. As you had here, you were only a goal down, you managed to turn it around.
Yeah, listen, I know the supposedly the advantage is having the home leg first, but it's probably like for Finn Harps, having the home leg second, supposed to be the advantage. But it's probably worked out well for us that after the night penalties and extra time and whatnot, and a very taxing game on the bodies, that we don't have to travel up there now on Friday, so we'll get a full week to recover before we get up there. But as you said, it's pivotal that we don't go up there having to chase it the way we did tonight, because Ollie has them well organised. And as you said there, I think possibly I've seen it that Finn Harps, that UCD are possibly one of the best League of Ireland First Division teams ever, and Finn Harps only finished 3 points behind them. So it would have been a kick on the ball in it if Conor Davis hadn't scored that goal at UCD when Harps went 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go or so. But listen, it will be difficult. We've watched them a good few times this year as well, and we know plenty about them, so we'll get the bodies in and get them recovered, and we'll prepare the best we can for Friday. Just
a final 2 questions, where you had to watch 4 matches from the stand, and you know you're very active on the sideline when you've been managing as well. Was it an interesting experience and maybe a helpful one to be able to watch your team? I know some managers actually make a choice to watch in the stand as opposed to in the dugout, and just to be able to see things from a height and see things where you're not kind of, you know, verbally involved in the game, and it might just give you a different perspective on different things in games.
Yeah, it'd be alright if we can make communication with the bench though. There's no point sitting in the stands and seeing things and you can't say that, and so I personally myself like to be on the sideline, because if you see something you want to get your point across straight away to the players, and it might be a tiny little tactical thing or even areas where players are receiving balls or whatnot. I feel that if you're in the stand and then you have to relay the message to someone else and then onto the pitch, I think it gets lost in the translation. Then it's not as instant. Personally, I prefer to be on the bench, and even like now, like for the last 4 games, an hour before kick-off until an hour after kick-off, I haven't spoken to the players after the last 4 games now. I won't see them until the next day, so because they've showered and gone. So that's a more frustrating thing as well, because you want to be able to go in there while your emotions are still fresh, and maybe
the message in your head is fresh as well.
Fresh. Well, listen, it can be worked both ways, because then you might take the edge off it the way you're saying it. But no, listen, it's certainly not something I want to be doing again very soon, is sitting in the stand.
And just on a final note, Tim, the game tonight, I'm not sure what the attendance was, but there was a great crowd, huge Drogheda support over the far side as well, and loads of old Shell fans were back, and I was sitting behind 4 young Shells fans in their Shells jerseys, and they were actually chanting as the game went on. It really seemed to reignite the Shells fans here. Attendance has been great in recent years. It's been similar enough in Drogheda, and there was a great crowd there the other night. You'd be hoping for the same on Friday, but just to ignite people to come back to watch the games, it's been great. And I know this was a home game for Shells, but you guys be hopeful for the same on Friday, and if you can get through again then against Limerick as well.
Yeah, listen, the stand was packed here this side, and I know Drogheda brought a good few fans as well, so even the home game, Shells had a massive following up there and created a huge atmosphere as well. So that's what you want crowds getting packed out and creating an atmosphere. And I can remember myself coming up here in the 90s when Shells had a really good team, and used to come up on a Friday night, played on a Saturday obviously with Belleville, so you come up and watch games, there's nothing like it. I know like some people talk about the quality football and the quality product on show, but it's live. You're close to the players. They can get, as you say, a relationship going, and it's live football. As you said, there are 4 kids there will go home tonight, even though the team lost. But
and there was loads more kids here, but I just saw 4
they're right in front of you, like that's what I mean, like with their jerseys. So they'll go home and have watched the penalty shootout, and even though the team lost, it's still a really good buzz and a great end to the season. I know it wasn't how Shells wanted it to end, but certainly a great end to the season for them, and that'll be fresh in their mind going back to next year, and hopefully for them and the likes of ourselves as well, that we can get more fans in the gate, and especially the youngsters. I think we can do more as a league. We can do more and going in and getting involved in schools more and getting kids from a younger age that get hooked on it, because if you can get them to League of Ireland games at under 10 age group and they get affiliated with a club, that could stick with them through their teenage years and it becomes a habit then.
Mark Dole scored your winning penalty?
Yeah.
I apologise to him and everybody. I Facebook live the penalties and did my battery die as the last one went in. iPhones for you. Tim, thanks a million. Best luck on Friday.
Cheers, Jamie. Thank you.